So how would be started like veteran life? Like you faced or any challenges in the beginning of life, some wars. So the people little bit scary.
So I was raised at a different time in America where patriotism, I think, was more vogue,
Hmm.
if you will. A lot of people wanted to serve. I did. My high school football coach was a Marine. Many of my classmates went into the Marine Corps in Vietnam.
Once you retire from the veteran, so how would be started your business idea? So what's your mottos to create this business?
Started this journey on having a nonprofit started several years back. I was a director of a university program. It was a university in Missouri that I knew and they knew me. Standing up a veterans program.
Suggestions to give that guy because he's already retired, you don't have money or you don't have approved the loan, so you don't have credit score. So what would be the approach? So you're gonna suggest?
Yeah, we get people of all ages. We get people coming directly out of the military, and some have been out a little while, and some have been out longer than that. So our candidates are, again, across the spectrum, age, race, gender, across the board.
I got it.
So what we did, I needed to fill in a blank here. We started out originally to address the lack of capital concern. Not long into that, we started getting calls from baby boomers wanting to sell their businesses. Right now in America, it's called the silver tsunami. It's the largest wealth transfer in the history of America is going on right now. And what that means basically is baby boomers are looking to sell their business and retire. And in 85% of the cases, their children don't want it.
Hey audience, thanks for watching the past episodes. So I'm missing the last 3 episodes. I'm sorry for that. But we are launching one more episode. Today is one of the CEO. He's a veteran business project. He's one of the busiest company and working company. It's a non-profit company. So he's one of the CEO in Naperville. So welcome to the guest, the Charles. Hey, thanks for to visit the studio and giving your opportunity. Thanks for that. So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Sure. I'm Charles Linlouder, go by my middle name, Linlouder. I'm a senior citizen, Marine by background, small town guy from downstate Illinois. Played college football, went in the Marine Corps. Stayed in the Marine Corps a lot of years, ended up getting an undergrad degree and a law degree while I was in the Marine Corps. That led to trial work. That led to corporate counsel work. It led to being an operating officer in some companies. And about 13 and a half years ago, I started a nationwide nonprofit called Veteran Business Project. And I also own a diner in Naperville, Illinois, Rosie's Home Cooking.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So how's your life starting? You come from big money or richest family?
Small town America. I'll just say this. We moved around a lot to different small towns. I was a runaway when I was in high school about 3 times. Graduated the bottom half of my high school class. I needed direction in life. So ultimately, after 3 years of college football, I wanted to go in the Marine Corps. I wanted to go into combat. I wanted to see if I could be a Marine. And that ended up happening. But when I started out as an enlisted man to begin with and then got a commission later on. But in boot camp is where I really found my father figure, an example of how a man behaves. Young men, boys.
Yeah.
I think we're sort of coded, in my opinion. We grow from the mother towards the father. And we need to have a clear image of a man of character. And leadership. And if I think young men don't have that, if that image is blurry or non-existent, we're in trouble. So I found my senior drill instructor, or rather he found me, or we found each other.
Yeah.
And he was a major impact in my life. He wanted me to be an officer. He encouraged me in that way. And that's what happened.
That's cool. That's, the God-given, like the busiest life, and after you turn the veteran life. So how would be started like veteran life? Like you faced or any challenges in the beginning of life? So because the people to join in the army, the people scary a little bit for the nation or anything like some wars. So the people little bit scary. So how's your feel whenever you join like veteran life in the past?
Well, I'm an older guy, so I'm 79 going on 80 years of age. So I was raised at a different time in America where patriotism, I think, was more vogue,
Hmm.
if you will. A lot of people wanted to serve. I did. My high school football coach was a Marine. Many of my classmates went into the Marine Corps in Vietnam. I was going to tell you, I think it's over 75% of the people that went to Vietnam were volunteers, not conscripts.
Oh,
So we had a lot of people were of that mindset, and I was too. So I wanted to see if I could be a man, see if
that's
I
cool.
could go to combat and serve and represent my country, and that's really what I was seeking to do.
Really interesting. That's a good topic. I mean, you know, whenever you join the veteran life and you service, how many years you served the country?
I served 15 years.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Thanks for that. You serve the nation. That's cool for everyone. So, I mean, so once you retire from the veteran, so how would be started your business idea? Like, how did the idea veteran business project the login? So, what's your mottos to create this business?
Okay. Well, it all started, this journey on having a nonprofit started several years back. I was a director of a university program. There's a university in Missouri that I knew, and they knew me, and they were standing up a veterans program. So they asked me to come over and help them get that going, and I did.
Okay.
It really boiled down to three major concerns: transfer credits. These were veterans that were coming out of the military now into academia, college.
Got it.
So the three concerns that I focused in on were transfer credits, and then making sure that there was mental wellness there on campus. Many of these people had seen combat. And then lastly, jobs. What would they do once they got their degree? Wanted to make sure they had an opportunity to be employed, to have those opportunities as much as possible. So that's the way we started it, but things happen sometimes. And what began to happen is I would get veterans coming into my office on nearly a daily basis, and they wanted to know, the questions always got down to, how do you get in business for yourself?
Yeah.
Now, this was regardless of age or race, gender, branch of service, whatever their job was in the service, across the board.
Yeah.
I was fascinated with that. I didn't anticipate anything like that. I'd been in business before, and they got that word, I guess, the reputation of that. So they would come in a lot, frequently. When I left that location, it was the University of Central Missouri out in about an hour east of Kansas City. So when I came back, I have a law degree. I jumped into the GI Bill. I wanted to find out what the history was, starting, say, in World War II. And I found out that in the 9 years following World War II, 49.7% of our returned veterans in America became small business owners.
Yes.
Post 9/11, less than 5%. Do you know why? Lack of access to capital.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a loan. And I found that completely unacceptable. We will lend a college-bound teenager in America tens of thousands of dollars with no credit score or collateral required, but a veteran who's taken an oath to support and defend the Constitution, and in some cases put their lives on the line, somehow or other, we haven't figured out how to help them. So I found that unacceptable, and that's why we formed Veteran Business Project initially for that purpose.
That's cool.
Dale Eisenberg is a co-founder with me. He is our president. I'm the CEO. And also, he and I later on opened up a restaurant together too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he's been in restauranting for over 50 years. He really knows that turf.
Yeah, in the Naperville downtown. So
Sorry?
it's in the Naperville downtown, right?
Well, it's on North Aurora Road,
Oh,
not far off Route 59.
I got it.
So that's where we have our restaurant now. But our nonprofit, we're nationwide. So we work with veterans all over the country, East Coast, West Coast, North and South, all over. So
That's cool.
that's what we do.
So, for example, a retired veteran, come to in your office or in front of you.
Mhm.
So, what suggestions do you give that guy, because he's already retired, you don't have money, or you don't have approve the loan,
Mhm.
so you don't have credit score. So, what would be the approach? So you're gonna suggest.
To get them through the process.
Okay.
Yeah, we get people of all ages. We get people coming directly out of the military, and some have been out a little while, and some have been out longer than that. So our candidates are, again, across the spectrum: age, race, gender, across the board.
I got it.
So what we did, I needed to fill in a blank here. We started out originally to address the lack of capital concern. But not long into that, we started getting calls from baby boomers wanting to sell their businesses. Right now in America, it's called the silver tsunami. It's the largest wealth transfer in the history of America is going on right now. And what that means basically is baby boomers are looking to sell their business and retire. And in 85% of the cases, their children don't want it. So they had heard of us, people had heard of us kind of through the grapevine initially, and we started getting calls. So we sat with our board and we said, maybe we can help here because I have business background, so does Dale. And we started out to do that. In the process of doing that, we formulated a business model, which we call V-Harmony. There's V-Harmony to get a date on the computer, and we match veterans and military spouses that want to get in business with existing businesses looking to sell. Now, that's an important distinction because post-World War II, those were mostly startups, much harder. The failure rate with startups is 85%. So a lot less than that. When you're buying a business that already exists, you do a proper due diligence. You know if it's making money or not. You know if they've got customers. You know what you're getting into. It's a much smarter decision, in my opinion. That's the way it exists right now. So I can just extend this a little bit. The V-Harmony process is an 8-step process. And it starts from a person coming into our program, signing up, initial interview that we have with that particular candidate. We want to know, do they have any business background? Do they have any operating experience? Do they know the fundamentals of owning and operating a business? Number 2, have they given any thought to the mental side of it? Now, this is very important. In fact, I think it's probably the most important thing we talk about. If you go to a rifle range in the military and you're going to qualify, you know what target you're shooting at. If you don't know what your values are, what you're passionate about, what you're good at, you're shooting in the dark. So we spend time focusing in on that so they can get an understanding of what do I really care about, what I mean to the core of my very being, and what am I good at. Now, if I can find, or we can find a business that incorporates those component parts, chances for that veteran being successful are greatly enhanced. So we spend time with that. In fact, we even give a personal values assessment from Georgetown University to do a self-assessment for them. And then we talk about that, helping them get an understanding where they're going. Very important. So I should tell you this too. The average time for a veteran to find the business can still be around 18 to 24 months on average. Like anything else, nothing comes easy in life. And being in business for yourself takes discipline, focus, tenacity, and all that. So they need to make sure they find the right business. It's going to take time, generally speaking. Now, we have some people that come in, they already know. But most of the people that come, I would say 60% probably don't. So we start from those vantage points. We talk about VA claims. If the veteran has any problems, either their muscular system or skeletal system, or perhaps even depression or PTSD, we want to make sure we deal with that too. For them to look down the road and to figure out what their lane in life is going to be, they need to have a clear windshield. They need to understand what they're looking for. When veterans come out of active duty, Anil, I should tell you that there are 2 things they're trying to do. Number 1, they're trying to figure out, who am I now? Especially combat veterans. Combat changes people. It doesn't mean that they're broken, that they're on the ash heap of life. It means that they've seen things and done things that we've asked them to do that have an impact on them. They are typically disciplined, they're motivated, they're smart, they know how to hang in there and get things done and done right. They're team players, all that they have. But they're trying to figure out who am I now in the midst of all that. The second thing they're trying to do is to figure out, what's my lane in life going to be? What am I going to do going forward now that's going to add meaning and purpose to my life? Veterans, a 9-to-5 job for money will never do it. We are trained to fight as a team. We're trained to fight and to serve our country. It's a higher purpose. So veterans long for that kind of role. We are attracted to that. So that's an important distinction with veterans too.
You got it.
They've got all that it takes that the World War II people had. They've got it all. Now the opportunities are even greater.
For example, I mean, you started a nonprofit company.
I did.
So how do you see your business in nonprofit company? Like you see, I mean, a profit company we see like some millions dollars or
Mhm.
loss or anything like that.
Right.
But a nonprofit company, I mean, I don't know personally
Mhm.
how the business you measure. So can you explain?
Sure. Well, we set this up to help veterans get into business for themselves. So naturally, one of the criteria is going to be how many people have you actually helped get a
Okay,
business of their own. In the last 4 to 5 years, I think we're at about 54 veterans that we've helped get into business for
that's
themselves.
interesting.
Now, the national average of veterans that want to get into business, the average success rate on an annual basis is about 6%. We're running at about 17%. So we're about
Yeah,
triple the
exactly.
average in America. That exists for two reasons. Number one, the V Harmony model, because it's sequential and
Okay.
it's linear, and you can measure where people are in that process. And number two are our business coaches. We have several business coaches.
Hmm.
What we do in the process of coaching these veterans is you need to establish trust with them. Veterans are very relationship oriented, and veterans are all about getting things done as opposed to merely talking about them. Once you begin to establish that trust based relationship with them, now you've got something to really work from.
Hmm.
That relationship, we have veterans now that have been in business for a good while, and their coaches are still with them. They still talk with them, they still bounce ideas off of them. It's a wonderful concept.
I got it.
So, the coaching and the model really make the difference
I
between us
mean,
and anybody else.
yeah, that's
Let me add something else if I can.
no worries.
All
Yeah.
right. Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
We have a suicide epidemic in America with our
Mm.
veterans. For the last 22 consecutive years, over 6,000 veterans per year have killed themselves.
Oh my goodness.
Now, when you take that percentage of veterans, the percentage of veterans in comparison to the national population, it's very alarming. For every single veteran that commits suicide, 135 people on average are impacted by that tragedy. If you run the aggregate amount of veterans that have taken their lives in the last 22 years times 135, it's over 17,700,000 people, 700,000 people have been impacted by this. Now, we don't have the answer for every suicide in America amongst our veteran community, but Anil, we have an answer. And the answer is veterans getting in business for themselves,
Yeah.
taking control of their own destiny. They can build a business for themselves and their families. They can recruit other veterans and help them and mentor them and encourage them and develop hope. Hope being the last thing that leaves before they commit suicide. So that is a very, very important aspect at the foundation of our business. When we started Veteran Business Project, our motto was getting veterans into business. We changed that
Mm.
some months ago to offering hope and saving lives.
I got it.
That's really what we do. It's within the parameter of the Veteran Business Project and getting them into business. But in the process of doing that, they have hope, a reason to stay, and a reason to live.
That's true. Like, I mean, what do you think like veterans make great entrepreneurs? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Why do they are
The,
they good at
yeah.
entrepreneurship? Well, number one, all the character and leadership traits that they possess in the military.
Mm.
The function or the factor of, I think, a successful veteran to begin with, and starts in boot camp, is you learn self-discipline. A person that can't control themselves, their temperament, their appetites, and so forth, they're never going to be all that they could be. So they teach you self-discipline as a platform.
Hmm.
Now, getting into business is not for the faint-hearted. You've got to be tough. You've got to be tenacious. You've got to be focused. You've got to do all those things. They have that by virtue of their training and of their background. So it makes them, I think, ideal candidates to be in business for themselves. You have to set your own schedules. You have to
Yeah.
drive yourself. Nobody's going to drive you for it. You're going to have to do it on your own. So veterans, I think, are well disposed towards entrepreneurship.
And now is your running is like veteran business project one side, and one side is a restaurant.
Yes.
So how to manage your time and how to shift your, like, this way is different and this way is a commercial.
Sure.
So how do you manage your the things and the time and everything.
Right. Well, today is Monday. Monday is my holiday. Monday is my weekend.
Yeah.
But even there's always things to do. Look, I'm 79. In football terms, I know I'm in the fourth quarter of life. I don't know if I'm in the 2-minute drill yet, but I have no intention of ever slowing down. The one thing I think that really I've learned about the aging process, the only way that I know that a person gains wisdom is through the passage of time, the living of life. You do some things and you learn from success, but most of us, I think, learn from failures, things that didn't go the way we hoped they would go. I don't think I've known anybody that's failed more than I have. So you would think I would learn a thing or two by now. I hope I have. But wisdom, it just takes time to get there. You've got to go through the living of life. So in terms of what I do, Rosie's Home Cooking, which is it's a small town diner, by the way. I'm a small town guy, so every little town when I was a kid had a diner. And it was a center point of a community. You would see people in there you knew. You would go in and have a good meal, say hello and so forth, and go about your day. I wanted to have that. What I do in talking to veterans, I should tell you, I talk to younger veterans, just fresh out of the military, and I talk to older veterans, people even as old as me.
Yeah.
And when you get older, sometimes, for most of us, you look back over your life with hindsight, and you see things you wish you would have done better, perhaps not even done at all, and there can be regret. So when I talk to older veterans, I hear some of that. And then I tell them, look, we're going to be dead a long time. If you've got something you want to do, you really want to do, you can do it.
Yep.
If you've got some energy about you and your wits about you, you can do it.
That's true.
Well, you say that to veterans. Veterans, as I said, they're all about action opposed to just talking. No one ever said this to me or anything like this, Anil, but I could tell a few of them were probably thinking, oh, yeah? Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it didn't take any nudging. I've wanted to have a diner forever. So we've been around 3 years. We have been on national television at least 6 times. On regional television, at least that number, and even Naperville TV and others, newspaper articles, national articles. And it has to do with a combination, I believe, of a small town diner. Our food and service truly are exceptional. Now, people say those things in business.
That's true.
We mean it. So we have attracted more focus for Veteran Business Project because of Rosie's than the other way around. So Rosie's, we serve people of all backgrounds in there. You can imagine, again, it's diverse as can be. We have a fair amount of veterans that come in there. And when you come in, you'll see the missing man table over here, honoring our dead that have served in the military and forfeited their lives. You have the Rosie the Riveter over here, World War II, honoring Rosie. We have Norman Rockwell paintings, honoring people that have served our country or helped our country in meaningful ways. We have good food, and then we have good rock and roll, like 1950s and 60s versions.
Exactly.
That's what we do. So it's hand in glove. I meet people there. We have meetings there. I never unplug from what we're doing with veterans. I just don't.
I mean, you are like 17-year-old. So what advice, do you have for right now, like 25-year-old kid? What advices to give the present generation?
Well, I would say it's very important for young people to have role models, and hopefully by virtue of their parenting. But if you don't have role models, then you need to find one. For many young men, it's in sports, coaches, or teachers.
Yeah.
Find someone that can show them what it takes to succeed, how to be a person of character. The acquisition of character is, I think, the most important thing that happens in our life, the most important thing that can occur.
Correct.
To learn what are the elements of character, where do you go to get it, what does it look like, and what do you do once you have it? The ability to make the right decision, the right moral decisions, decisions of integrity every day of your life, consistently. It starts in the small things. If you are a person of integrity in your smaller, what people would say, your smaller details of life, then when the big issues come, that's easy. But it's the self-discipline part, making yourself do what you know you should do, regardless of how you feel. Feelings don't matter.
Yeah.
Feelings come and go. It's what do you do? What do you discipline yourself to do?
Correct.
People of character have gone through choppy waters, so to speak. That's the marking aspect, I think, the predominant marker of every person I've ever known that would be a person you would think would have wonderful character. Gandhi, Churchill, people like that. And you look at their lives, they had a lot of adversity, they had a lot of tough times, but they did that. Mother Teresa is another example. There are many out there. That's a life of purpose. That is a life of consequence. What did you leave for others as an example? And at a more micro level, as a father, as a mother, as a friend, a brother or sister, what examples are you leaving for the people following behind you? We all need that. Service to the nation and to people occurs out here every single day by people that the media is not interviewing them. Nobody knows about them.
Correct.
They're running their stores. They're dealing with people in the right way, competent way, moral way. That's the legacy. I have talked to a lot of collegiate football programs down through the years. I do quite a bit of speaking on character and leadership. Again, what is it? What does it look like? How do you get it? And then what do you do once you have it? And I tell these young men, when I go in front of them, I will say, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I've learned in life. But if you want to know why you were born, then I'll tell you. If you'd like to know what you're supposed to be doing, I'll tell you right now. And you won't have to zigzag any. You can just go straight to the target and get after that. If you want. If you don't want to know, that's fine. But no big deal. But if you do, somebody remind me when I get done talking here. We're going to talk for a while. But if I don't come back to it, remind me and I will. And I always give my talk, and then I always thank everybody and for their attention and the opportunity to be there. And then I start to fold up my notes and leave. I purposefully do that.
That's cool.
And then they'll ask me, sir, stop. Tell us why we were born. And I will say, well, all right, I'm happy to do that. Glad you asked that question. And I will say, have you ever seen a hearse, a funeral procession? And of course, they all have. And I asked them, have you ever seen a U-Haul trailer behind that hearse with that body?
Yeah.
And the answer is, of course not. And that's because that's an important life lesson. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, but our life is about much, much more than that. Those things are never our things permanently.
I got it.
We have them on temporary loan.
Correct.
When we pass on, those things go to other people. What's your legacy? Your legacy is who did you love and who did you help along life's path? We are all God's children. We're supposed to act like that.
Correct.
We're supposed to help one another, to love each other, and to be unselfish about all that. That's really what matters in life. That's the reason why we're here. You can do it in any number of ways.
Yeah.
Running a business, being a doctor, being a lawyer, whatever.
Anything.
Teacher. It's your frame of mind, your heart, what matters, and how you express that. That I've learned.
Yeah. And you manage the stress levels in your business, in your veteran life, in the military, and present generation. So they're managing, their time and their studies or their school, or right now is the social media.
Right.
So for the distractions and everything. So, what suggestions like to avoid the distractions? What discipline we need? Present generation needs. So what kind of fire they need?
Sure.
So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, number one, put the iPhone down. Discipline yourself the amount of time you spend in the iPhone. It has definite advantages. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But Anil, we're made to interact with people. I just had a meeting with the staff of Veteran Business Project. Now, sometimes we have meetings by Zoom.
Got it.
And then sometimes we're relocating to a new headquarters over here in town. So we have an actual conference room we go to. It is so much more productive, in my opinion, to have meetings, if possible, with people face to face. You see more. There's something about that spiritual action and interaction of people. We are spirit beings. And so when you see people, when you're looking into their eyes, when you're talking with them, we're reading each other. There's the spoken word and the unspoken word.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So set the phone down. Be disciplined about that. Read. Not just what you're told. But I still come back to the fundamental notion of grabbing a book. It's tactile.
Yeah.
Reading it, underlining, writing notes and all that, very vital. Read books of importance. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
Read
Here we go. This question, like, I mean, which books you suggest to, I mean, top five, or I mean, which like you like mostly?
Hmm.
So give me some fine names, books of names, like or one or two.
Sure. Start with the Bible.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Decide about God. Get clear on that.
Yep.
I can add a whole lot more about that. I'm writing a book and I give speeches on that. How did I make up my mind about Christ? Is it either a fairy tale
Yep.
or it's true? I read a lot of books and took classes in my 50s on the origins of the Bible and about Christ and who this guy was and wasn't and all that. I could talk for another 3 hours on that.
That's cool.
But if he's who he says he was, that's an important person, and an important person to understand and the impact that that has on your life. So the Bible, start with that. There's a book called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. It's a great book.
Okay.
It addresses the whole notion about who you are, why you're here, and how to conduct your life.
Exactly.
The first chapter really orients on the fact that it's not about you. It's about him. We come here with things to do, things that he has a plan and purpose for us.
100%.
So let's figure that out. I think there's so many others. Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Brian Tracy has some terrific books out there. He is a good motivational speaker, and he has a lot to offer. There are others, but those three jump to my mind right away.
Yeah, that's cool, Charles. Nice talking with you. So we close here. If in case any other options, we'll do one more podcast or one more episode if you're available. That's cool for that. And thanks for the coming here and spending this time and sharing your knowledge and sharing your business ideas or your company and your restaurant. And thanks for the time. And we'll close this here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.